the Maui Animal Farm, we have 11 rabbits and 3 more on the way because a family is moving to the mainland and needs to rehome them. But they'll be coming in June. Actually, rabbits are very sweet, cuddly animals. You know, they are so fun to just pet. They've got soft fur. They're really sweet and fluffy. And so we're really lucky to have such wonderful animals on the farm. We do a daily petting zoo tour every day, and the kids that come and their parents can hold the rabbits on their laps. And so that's been really popular with our guests. So we work on a weekly basis with children with autism. We have a partnership with ABA Classroom right now where they bring about 15 children up to the farm every Friday, and the children and their therapists feed the animals at different stations that we have posted around the farm. So they'll get a clipboard that associates with the station, and they feed and water all of the animals. In some cases they may be brushing or grooming the animals during that time. It's a really great program that we have. We've been doing it since 2019. And the children have developed so much confidence.
I spent 22 years in the U.S. Army, and I was mainly as a combat medic, and definitely saw a lot of injuries, the biggest one being PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I really have a heart for my veterans and that particular injury, wound, if you will, so much so that I wrote my dissertation on PTSD and how to lessen the symptoms of PTSD. And one of the natural ways that we found was working with animals. I particularly worked with an organization called PAWS, which is Puppies Assisting Wounded Service Members. It was so amazing just to see, well, one, they would take their mind off their own pain and their own problems, and they cared more about caring for this innocent little puppy. And it really just changed everything for them. And as the puppy grew and they trained the puppy, it was amazing. It was so beautiful, this connection between this injured, wounded service member and a puppy that grew into a dog and became their best friend. It was a really great organization to work with.
So the 2 children that we had up here today, Ravi and Zephyr, had so much fun with our animals. We brought out 3 bunnies. We brought out Butterscotch, Tiffany, and Peter Rabbit, and they both had a great time cuddling with those bunnies and kind of chasing around. When the bunnies would hop off their lap, they'd get up and go and catch them and so forth. But, you know, gave them some really great confidence about holding and petting an animal.
So what happens neurologically in the child when they're holding, say, a bunny rabbit? They're doing what's called co-regulating. They're mirroring the same calmness of the animal, which of course then is very calming for the child.
We also brought the goats, Ben and Jerry, out, and they were able to walk them around in circles here at the farm, and you know, great confidence building for that as well. So this is Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry are Nigerian dwarf goats. And these guys are from Nigeria. Africa is where the goat is originally from. But they were born here on Maui at Ohana Ranch. They were born as triplets, so they have a sister who's a brown-eyed girl, but these boys are blue-eyed boys. And they have horizontal pupils. They can see 340 degrees around them. Here's a brush for you. Yeah. And they don't have any horns because they were disbudded as babies. So their horns were stopped from growing when they were little babies. And I got them when they're the size of those little baby goats up there, those little Comet and Rudolph.
So the first thing that happens with children when they play with animals, like at the Maui Animal Farm, there's going to be a shift in their nervous system. So they're going to move from fight or flight, which is your sympathetic nervous system, into rest, digest, and heal, which is the parasympathetic. And so they're moving from that survival mode where they're protected and guarded to this relaxed and calm mode. And that switch of the nervous system, that's the first thing you're going to see. Also, there's oxytocin, which is bonding and chemical hormones that help you just really bond and fall in love and feel connected with the animals. And then there's also dopamine, which is sort of a reward, and then the cortisol will lower or decrease in the body. So that's the stress hormone. So it's very relaxing and wonderful for the kids.
And so these guys are 5 years old now, and they're just the sweetest goats, aren't they? You know, they're not big compared to some other breeds of goats, but these guys are really sweet twins, and they've been brushed almost every day of their life because we have our petting zoo tours on a daily basis. And yeah, aren't they great? They were able to interact with them for brushing and petting the animals, and that gave them a lot of really great influence and comfort for their situations. So we're really happy to have them here.
Robbie, my 6-year-old, was diagnosed with Perthes disease a couple years ago. And Perthes disease is a rare hip disorder that causes avascular necrosis of his femoral head, which means that the head of his femur bone died. And he's had 2 surgeries so far. The first was a tendon release, followed by casts on both legs. And the second surgery was last year around this time, and that was to reposition the hip bone within the hip socket and secure it with a metal plate and screws. And next month, he'll be getting that removed. He's been through so much, but he's persevered through it all, and he's so strong. And he loves animals, and to be able to have an opportunity like this and pet the bunnies is just so wonderful for him.
This is my son, Zephyr. He's diagnosed with autism. One of the things that animals have been very good for him as far as sensory regulation goes is whenever he's feeling pressured or anxiety or any of that sort, they help him calm down.
Regular animal play that the kids are enjoying also builds confidence, and it causes them to make movements that they maybe wouldn't do at home doing or PT or something like that. So they're playing with the animal. That builds confidence, that builds stability, and they're having fun. And this also is cumulative as well. Again, I can't say it enough. We're causing that nervous system to regulate. And over time, this is cumulative.
Robbie has 2 animals at home. His dog and him have such a wonderful relationship. She's been with him his whole life, and she's 1 year older than him, and she's just been the most wonderful nanny dog. She lets him hold on to her, and she brings him so much joy, and he loves her with all of his heart. She's helped him through his journey from being in a wheelchair to relearning how to walk with his walker, and animals are so wonderful.
It's one of the children that wants to go to the farm who has an injury in his hip. And well, how can petting an animal help with a hip injury? It's amazing. It really can help. Pain isn't physical. In other words, like a bone in your body, I can take that bone out and put it into someone else or something else, but you can't literally take pain out of the body. It's more of a perception and how the nervous system perceives it. And so by regulating that nervous system, where you're calming them and taking them out of that fight or flight, they're calm with the animal, and that can regulate the nervous system and again ease the physical pain as well.
We're actually in the process of developing a therapeutic horseback riding program, and so we are naming that Reigns of Aloha. It'll be under our 501c3 nonprofit called Tiny Hoof Animal Therapy of West Maui. And Reigns of Aloha, we were able to purchase a covered horseback riding arena. So it's going to be 60 feet wide, 120 feet long by 18 feet high. And it's just been completed in Grand Junction, Colorado. It's being packed in a container that we purchased, and it's going to be shipped across the country and then across the Pacific Ocean to Hawaii. So we're really excited about that. And when that container arrives, we're going to do a couple of fundraising programs because we still are trying to get together the money to actually construct it. But but we do have some friends in the community that we're hoping to recruit for that. But it's going to be a really great program. And our organization is associated with PATH International. Now, PATH International is the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship. And they train people in how to run therapeutic riding programs, equine assisted therapy, they call it. And so we are very excited about being certified with that. We have an instructor who will be working with us who already has her certification. does weekly programs in another facility, but the west side of Maui really needs that capability, and so we're very excited about launching that program here. So we are working on building our covered riding arena, and any donations would be very greatly appreciated because it is an expensive project, but just so much that we'll do for the community is really a great thing.